story.
Yeah,
So let's go.
Yeah,
Okay, guys.
2 weeks ago, yeah? You know this now?
I know Chief. I know Chief.
Chief
Chief Melo.
of Houston Bank.
Yes.
Yes. I know Chief. 2 weeks ago, he was kidnapped. This Africa. 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Oh.
But being a journalist that he is, he said, okay, look, I've told my wife to run around and raise the money. They demanded 30 million naira. 30 million naira. So because of the negotiation, they said, okay, let us see how much we raise. And then, so because of that, he tells them, okay, relax. I'm trying to raise the funds for the money. But I want to know, who are you? And where are you from? They said, we are not Nigerians. We are the Fulani in our own land, tending to our cattle in our own way of life. Why went to Egypt and told the whole world that the Fulani everywhere are welcome to come to Nigeria.
Hold on. Did Buhari actually say Fulani everywhere? He said that by the protocol that was being signed, you can now travel within Africa freely.
He didn't mention Fulani in that speech.
That's what I'm saying.
I
I
think
did not hear Fulani
Is it?
in that speech.
Didn't he?
Because that was, you see, that was a question of interpretation. Right?
Okay, I will try to find out whether he meant that. I don't know.
Are you referring to West African ECOWAS protocol or EU protocol?
No, not ECOWAS. There was a speech he made in Egypt.
Which has to do with the visa on the arrival.
Yeah, there was a speech he made in Egypt.
Okay, if you mean the visa on arrival, I think I understand.
There was a particular speech. There was a conference he attended in Egypt, organized by, I think, the Muslim-speaking world or something like that. And he went there and said that is because of his speech. He said that is why in Nigeria we welcome all these people that are coming to Nigeria. He thought he was simply making a political speech, or maybe he meant what he was saying.
That's real love. People will tell you he didn't think he was making a speech.
He knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing.
That's my position.
Now, so
And when you are done, I will take it from there.
And now, when these nomadic people who are roaming all over West Africa, Central African Republic, Chad, Egypt, they are being pursued in Ghana. They are being pursued everywhere. And they said, look, we have our brother, he is a Fulani, in Nigeria, who now said, you are welcome to come. So they come into Nigeria now. They said that when they come, okay, they thought that Nigeria being a very rich country, that there is something in this country for them. When they come, they discovered that they have no job, they have no money. So what do? They started stealing cattle. You heard about cattle rustling? No,
The whole thing started with cattle rustling. When military was rescuing cattle.
Exactly.
But cattle rustling is as old as cattle rearing.
Yes, but it became wars at the point in Nigeria. Now, when they started cattle rustling, they started stealing. They went to criminality. When they saw that there's no more cattle to steal, they now started stealing human beings. And even they discovered that it is more profitable to walk into a house the way they walk into my mother's house.
And kidnapping.
Knock down the door and say, follow us. He followed them. They just make a phone call. He was 30 million. When I told this story to one guy from Northeastern Nigeria a week ago here in Abuja, the man said that he paid 5 million naira to the speech, but he now has his 2 cars on the market. But he borrowed money, 5 million naira to the speech, brother. And I have put his 2 cars in the market to repay the loans. And that is why he didn't take it to a conference with any car. That was our money. So what I'm taking from this story is that these kidnappers, bandits are not Nigerian. How do you say?
Well, majority of them are not.
And they're Fulani. So
Can I now come in?
yeah.
But hold on. Disclaimer here. Adam, you are Fulani, right?
No,
with your long nose.
So you are Abacha.
Shua. This is Shua. This is
So
Shua.
what I'm saying is the way you knock your head on the floor when you pray.
That's not that.
I said, yeah, there's a market.
Yes, no.
There's a official market.
Oh,
That's like a
He Shua.
It doesn't have this.
So
okay, so what do you think about this
Fulani
issue?
issue.
You see, this issue, just like Dr. said, has been going on for ages. It's only that now they caught and they see blood, then they decided to transform it into kidnapping. You understand? And had it been, people have not been paying.
But how would you
Let me
pay?
go, let me just go. I think people have not been paying. this could have escalated like this. But then, what can you do when there's nobody to help? There's no government honestly to rescue you. All you need to do is that you add up and make your way out to save your one person. Or else, you'll be disposed. But I do not agree with the saying people say that Buhari invited Fulani to come in. What are the other agenda?
So you are saying it's pure criminality.
It's pure criminality. But the issue is that
No, but Buhari is
borders-
competent in writing that
of
criminality.
course. The issue is that our borders in the world is porous. Anybody can just come in. Anybody can just come in. Like,
So you know that, hold on, you know that people can actually come and take over Nigeria.
of course they can.
Honestly.
Of course they
Come
can.
and take, just the way they sleep in Abuja, come and take over.
Of
I
course
want to say something. Before you went live, there was a line of talk and an argument that I was pursuing. Please go ahead. And what is happening in Nigeria is not strange, right? It has happened in some places, some countries. It has happened in some countries. Nigeria has become a crime scene. Nigeria as a country has become a criminal enterprise. Do you know why? You have only two reasons why you have done. Number one is security of lives
And properties. Yeah.
and number two is making life more abundant to a greater majority of the citizens. Yes. Beyond these 2 points, there's no need for government. There is no need. Now you ask yourself, our life and our properties, are they secure? No. That means government failed on count one. Count two, welfare of citizens. Let me operationally define what I mean by welfare. If this were a research effort, you operationally define your welfare as a social scientist, social psychologist to be precise. My whole effort is understanding human behavior and applying some principles in ameliorating them where they are going negative and strengthening aspects that are positive to make them to recall and to become more important and then yield more fruits. You see, basic issues that we must consider welfare. I've talked about security before. Individual Nigerians produce and provide their own security. Food. You provide your own food. Education. Public education has since collapsed in Nigeria. It's not a matter of Buhari's administration. You can see that the issues surrounding public education completely gone in Nigeria. In fact, it's not a crime to send your child to a public institution in Nigeria. As we speak now, as we subscribe, definitely nobody knows when they will respond. Whereas private investors are running their show. That's what I mean by Nigeria being a crime scene. Now, I believe that the reason Buhari was elected into government to become the CEC of Nigeria in 2015 was because of three essential things: to come and deal with insecurity, come deal with the corruption, do something about our economy, particularly unemployment. See, in summary, things were bad when Buhari came in, but he made them worse. Statistically, the facts are there. Yes, I agree. I agree that things were bad, but Buhari made things worse. In other words, you cannot exonerate him from what is going on at the moment. See, even in what you call a criminal justice administration. Crimes are committed in two ways. You commit a crime through acts of omission, right? You commit crimes through acts of omission. You commit crimes through acts of the commission itself. That you committed the crime. What the lawyers would call actus reus and mens rea. That you committed the act and you also had a motive to do so. Then criminal justice would commit you to paying for that crime. If you do the crime, you do the fine, as the Americans would say. But in Nigeria, what we are saying is that you don't find all those things in place. In fact, there is always a line,
And the very thing was
there's always a red line you are not supposed to cross. Anytime that line is crossed, is statecraft. The leadership obtaining in the country at that moment must rise. The citizens must support them in trying to make sure that that line is not broken. This is not going on now.
There is no, in fact, the line is
It used to be blood.
There is no line.
It used to be blood before, but now no line. So the whole thing is fluid. You can come from anywhere. In fact, Nigeria is a country anything goes as we speak now. My last TV interview, I raised one question. I said, now that we have bandits less than 100 kilometers away from us, and they have taken well over 160 of us, and they are placing demands, and they have kept them for over 2 weeks, and prepared to keep them for another 2 months. Supposing these people set their eyes on Asorok, they will take it over. If they set their sight on Asorok, but God forbid. See, I am saying that the Afghanistan problem can happen here from what is going on. Why I say this is that they are just a few kilometers away from us. And now, what is our response? Remember, I told you people that they said in a video interview that their request, their demand is not material.
It's not financial investment, but
Not financial. They said it is territory. And then that brings me back to what I said about Honorable Bawa. Honorable Bawa Burajen told us that in 2014, a good number of bandits were brought into Nigeria to ensure that Jonathan left office at all. And you see, if you look back and remember what happened then, you will remember statements made by people like Chibika Meji. Chibika Meji said, and I paraphrase, Chibika Meji said that if they return Jonathan as president of Nigeria, that they will announce a parallel governmental Lagos. These things are on video. So my opinion. They're on video. You can Google. See, they will announce a parallel government for Lagos. Now, Jonathan knows more than he has told us. Jonathan, when he saw the scenario, he gave up on an election he may have won.
I do not believe he lost the election anyway.
Do you understand that? He gave up on an election he may have won because he didn't want the carnage that will result from that to be accredited to him by history. To be credited to him by history. I think he wanted to be remembered well by posterity. The story of Jonathan is for another day. Let them not distract us. I want to bring up one more issue. I have said that bandits were brought in. Do you understand that? Now, the president, as far as I am concerned, there are actions we expect that the president ought to have taken. See, we saw, you and I witnessed a number of military presidents in Nigeria, and we saw how firm and decisive they were about certain things. We were here when Buhari dealt with not Buhari now, No, when Shagari dealt with Maitasine, right? He was decisive, and Maitasine was out. Now, Boko Haram came in his incipient under Obasanjo. Obasanjo couldn't really take it seriously because it wasn't serious then. But by the time Jonathan came in, by 2009, when Mohammed Yusuf was killed, the leader of the Boko Haram, they went underground briefly and resurfaced in Abuja, breaking prison to bring out their people. And they took it from there. Till date, they have only grown in development, in defiance, in absolute callousness, the way of their level of brutality, and then in second place, only second to ISIS in history. Boko Haram. Now, let me summarize, this way. The scenario I'm trying to, paint is this. I am painting a scenario for you to see that if Buhari, a Shagari, a civilian, could deal with terrorism when it started in Nigeria,
but many would argue that then it was with sticks, bows, and arrows.
I understand. Yes, but now, Nigerian government, Nigeria remains the giant of Africa.
Oh,
wait a minute.
A giant working on a mosquito limb.
Wait a minute. I understand you saying, Nigeria is a giant asleep. That's the way I want to see Nigeria. You know why I say so? It's sleeping giant. I say so because I believe Nigeria has all it will take. I believe so. Manpower, intelligence, resources, hard men, all capacity, everything, all ramifications. But it's not happening because you don't have the right leadership.
But we have the next general
who is not prepared to be a Nigerian leader.
But
he has become a sectional leader. Say,
but he said it in the section you are listening to be about the section that are not killed.
Yes. Listen. You see, you are Kanuri. You share in the blame because many of the people, in fact, more than six of the 11 to 13 security, apparatus
Buraka is Kanuri too, right?
Run by your people. Wait a minute.
Buraka is what?
That's it. The same people build. No, let me learn. Listen. I'm not talking about Fulani. I'm talking about Northeast. Northeast, including the current, my brother, including the current chairman of the X. It's the same ISIS. You haven't done your job. Listen, but see, you are not entitled. You are not entitled to complaining about anything.
Why?
They have not used agencies Buhari has it to run properly. That's the truth. They are still busy looking at Buhari's body language.
7 years after.
Yes, that's the tragedy. And 1 year from now, Buhari will no longer be in office. And they are.
But you know that even when Buhari leaves office, he can't even go to his hometown.
Does he need to go to his hometown? That's one thing you need to understand about Nigerian leaders. They don't need their hometown anymore. They will leave the country instead. They have all the money they need to go to Bahama Island.
Dubai.
Not Dubai. Dubai is noisy. You talk your way. You talk yourself away. In one island where you wake up. You enter.
Dubai is noisy.
It's noisy.
That's a very good
you ride in a yacht where you don't need to. You're on the high sea with all the beautiful girls, all the finest champagne.
It's a room.
Even these people, you think don't drink. That is really
of course.
more than you and I.
They put it in the kettle.
Now listen.
Adam.
So now
I know one governor. I know one governor that comes to Wiesbaden in 2003. No, not kettle, but he drinks whiskey.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a governor. He was one of those that were captain.
I want to learn.
If you have the don't talk when I nearly died on Tuesday.
You won't die again.
Seriously, I nearly died. Don't talk.
You will not die again.
It's not
Listen,
yours, doctor. It's not yours.
eh?
It's not yours.
That's not my own. So okay, because I'm talking then, I'm denying the all this.
Don't worry. Me and you are
There is God though.
together.
So now, look at what I'm saying. You see, I have said that Nigeria is suffering because the country has no leadership. And it's statesmen that make nations leadership. They are the ones that do it. Because they're not thinking about themselves. They are self-actualizing political figures who have gotten to a point where they want to give back to the society. They are worried about
The future.
yes, the future, the society they are leaving behind, they are bequeathing to their children. That is their work. That is the difference between a statesman and a class politician that is only after acquiring power,
Material.
and dispensing the resources of the state. In the Nigerian experience, we do not have statesmen or foundation of the country. Because if you really look at it, right from the days of Nnamdi Azikiwe, Awolowo, Tafawa Balewa, Amadu Bello, how many of them were really working to establish a Nigerian nation? You get the point?
Very few.
That's the issue here. And that's the foundation. That is the faulty foundation we are suffering.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, as a journalist, I would say pause.
Okay, I'm paused.
Now, but I have a question for Adam.
Ask Adam.
Andrew Yago insinuated that there is a Fulani agenda. I asked you if you're Fulani. You said no, you're Kenuri. Now, in the South, we say all of you are the same. They are all not equal, which is a creation of ambiguity. But if I ask you, Adam, do you believe that there is a Fulani agenda?
Actually, there's nothing like that.
There is nothing like that.
Honestly, it's nothing.
Can you expatiate?
You see, the reason why I said it's nothing like that is the same Fulani have been killed by the same people they live with.
But by their brothers.
Yeah, by the houses. Or let's say by the levels. Or let's say by everybody. Because the Fulani man now has become an enemy. Because
Everybody.
branded him, yes,
Why?
because they have branded him to be a terror. You understand? Even within the Fulanis, they kill themselves. Why? You know, you started this, you said it. That Muslim people, you see, that's why I never say this.
Wow.
Wait, I better stop talking. Bring water.
Then we can pause the video.
No, water, no, it's all part of it. Bring water, quickly. Okay.
So you see,
No, but you need water also.
you see, just like it said, the Muslims started times in the
Yes.
you see. To me, the Russians started in a way that they want to pitch the Fulani against the forces. You know, before it was
Sorry, you said they.
yes,
But who are the they?
the elites.
Who are these elites? Where are they from?
Yeah, they can be from
Fulani.
anywhere. They can be from anywhere. Just like you said, we don't have leaders. You understand? We only have greedy bunch who are so selfish that they don't believe in unity. All they need is to acquire wealth, as he said, they go and buy and enjoy themselves.
Yeah, actually, yourself, they are ready to abandon you here for the next one.
Yes.
They don't care.
In the first place, they introduced tribalism. Then we overcome tribalism. Why? Because I think this NYS of a thing is kind of told there about that people who were close to various areas get acclimatized to the society and see that what they are preaching is wrong. Then they introduce religion, which is one of the things that break the barrier of limited religion. Where tribalism failed, religion continued. So now that they see that people have been enlightened and they know that this religion is a kind of all the religions are peaceful, then they can use this kind of crime that they will bring to society, the Fulanis. And how did they start it? By pitching the Fulanis against the horses. First, they started bossing. When they lost cows, then they introduced goats. Okay, take these goats. Guide yourself against the Russians. When they see that they can use the gun and protect themselves, and they can also use the gun to rob, they said, we have to go. This is a business. Sorry, apologies to you. We in the Lord.
I don't know.
Kidnapping.
We only hear it.
We thought you.
No, we only hear it from far.
River.
From afar. You understand? We only hear it from afar.
Yeah.
So
now,
we start to talk.
We have learned it. And no, it's not that they taught us. We learned within ourselves. And then we see that it is lucrative. And we have become so lazy. These are lazy youth Buhari is talking about. We have become so lazy that we can kidnap, cut ransom, buy weapons, and then upgrade. I did not agree with what Doctor said, that they are so close that they can even take a sort of blood.
No, I'm building a scenario.
They cannot.
That one in Nigeria.
Why? Because the government knew what they are doing.
So why can't that same government stop them?
Because there are
We don't meet their demand.
bad elements inside.
So the
What I mean by government is the security. Not the child, the security.
meaning the security is cut off.
Yes.
So meaning that Tiwa Danjuma is right. That they could lose.
Danjuma there right now.
Yes, of course. But to the extent that he is looking at the upper security apparatus. Yes. That's where I do not agree with you. But just like I told you, last 2 weeks they caught a couple. Who? A couple. Another couple who was siding with the bandits. You understand? Oh no, the bandits, terrorists.
I wanted to make that correction. Call them terrorists. They are not bandits. They are
Yes,
terrorists.
of course.
Bandit terrorists.
No, they are terrorists.
We need to classify their kind of terrorists.
So when they got him now, he tried to run away. When he ran to they get him in touch, they arrested him. You understand? And they even interrogated him. He has pointed out some. But what I fail to understand is how he was handcuffed and then he was flying his way, disarmed an army personnel, and then detonated a grenade or whatsoever. So you can see that. So something is wrong somewhere.
Fundamentally.
The puzzle there is not building up. So there are moles in the security apparatus, there are informants there, and so they are sabotaging the effort of the government. Even if
Is the government even making effort enough to even
there are efforts,
So deal with them. There's what you call internal
there
affairs.
are efforts. If there is no effort, these two canals and whatsoever will not be bought. You understand?
This to what?
Don't join us because we get shocked. You understand? So the idea of doctor saying there's a territorial agenda, honestly, I don't think there's something like that.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yes, you are.
I pray to be wrong.
Because what charity are they going to take? Killing his people?
How can you ask which territory?
Yes, of course.
Okay, stop.
I want to know.
Okay, stop. Why is it that suddenly, when the influx happened after 2015, why are those coming in? Why are they so interested in Benue, the food basket of the nation? Why?
Please,
The killing happening in the far north.
anyone that blood,
The killing happening in Benue.
can I get one more?
You understand? Benue and Plateau.
Hey,
You don't forget to
Please
mention
get one more for me too.
I'm telling you, it didn't make sense. You know,
sometimes it's being exaggerated, honestly. Are you with me? Yes. The killing in Benue, sometimes it's more, it's just exaggerated. Where were you when this, when Autumn said, excuse me,
Hey, drink water, drink water. Drink water. How dare you say that the killing happening in Benue? Hold on. It's exaggerated. Hold on. January 2020, we all woke up and 250 citizens of Nigeria were killed. My brother, how dare you call that exaggeration?
You want 1 million?
Hold on. You told me when I was with you in the Masalashi at the Planet Plaza that in your state, in one day, over 300 people were killed. How can that be exaggeration? That's what you told me.
I am personally, specifically referring to Benue. You see, we did not need the numbers advice. This is British.
We call it SME. Sorry.
Just agree that it's exaggerated, then you will be okay.
No, I'm referring to Benue. Not that. I'm referring to Benue. Because all those coffins we saw, some people I would believe that it's empty. Sorry to say. And Autumn here said he was, yes, Autumn here said he was chased and he ran some kilometers from his farm. So that man looked like somebody who is so healthy that he ran like that.
But if your life is threatened, if you
No!
will even die.
I've forgotten that the senator in Plateau
I remember.
Right,
He was my friend.
ran within some.
He was the steering committee chairman of health. He was my friend. With another honorable member.
Yes.
One senator, one
And
honorable member. They
on this
died.
Benway, the same TV,
Because of
the same TV people came out
I
and
wrote
said,
one bill for the man. I want to know how close they were.
I was in National Assembly that time.
the same TV people came out and said it was a lie. That they are the people that chased Autumn because he tried to steal their land. But it wasn't violent.
Let me give you one piece of information. There was rather one man called Chris Degan. Chris Degan was a retired AIG of police. Chris Degan was the police commissioner that arrested Mohammed Yusuf in Medugri. He was the CP of police in Medugri. He was later posted to Eto, later brought back to, in fact, at a point. Do you know how I got to know Chris Degan? Chris Degan is brilliant officer. You need to see Chris Degan. You know, fully built. Anything and everything you need from a man in terms of build, appearance, intelligence, education. Chris Degan was the embodiment. He was the OC Mopo of Nigeria. And myself and the traditional ruler of my town, we were looking for assistance from police headquarters here to be able to do something about police presence in our town, in Anambra State. Chris Degan helped us. You see how I came to know? Find out. Even before then, there was a program organized by the National Peace and Conflict Resolution Institute. I delivered a paper. Chris Degan received an award. That was where that was. I explored and exploited that link and went to see him. And he quickly wrote and asked the CP of Anambra State. Now, I'm giving a background for you to know that I'm not just talking out of the blues. See, Chris Degan
retired as AIG of police. The same Christian was made the chief security officer by Opom. He was killed. I'm giving you a background. You know, you can Google it. You know why? You know why I brought this up? Who? The same killers you find
That was Ghana. That was Ghana. The same man that killed his SA. Finance. The same Ghana.
I believe.
The same Ghana. And Ghana is a typical man.
I will check.
Yes.
But I believe that. I will check. But I believe that. I believe that Chris Decker died after Ghana. I'm not too sure now.
Who is Bishop? What about that?
I will get back to you on
What's the argument? The argument is that
that he was killed by a fellow thief man.
Just like that finance, SA finance or whatsoever. Ghana killed him. And same that pastor or Reverend Father. And that's why the matter died. What would a Fulani man do when he went to kill a pastor in the church and then ransack the church? The pastor said, we are tired of this killing. We are tired of this killing. Next week, I am going to reveal all the happiness. Before the following week was killed.
Now, let me now round up my second intervention. I drew our attention to something. You see, listen, I want to build on the statement by Olusegun Obasanjo, PhD, General, President, Head of State, GCFR, GCON, all WAEC, even WAEC and WAF, everything attached to him. You see, Obasanjo is one man you would love to hate and hate to love.
right.
He is a bundle of contradictions. Obasanjo made one interesting statement recently, last month or two, this year, I know for sure. He said somewhere in Oka, Anambra State. You know what he said? He said Nigeria is still a country and not yet a nation. You know, I was taken aback because I believe that Buhari and Obasanjo remain the most privileged Nigerians that ever lived. The Buhari at the age of 17 or so became federal government property. He joined the army. Till date, Buhari has not paid for a plate of food. Nigeria has bombed his body. The same thing goes for Obasanjo. Obasanjo joined the army around 20. Until today, Obasanjo is still being taken care of by government. Do you understand that? Now, beyond the questionable resources we expend on them, I am saying, what did they really do to help Nigeria? You know, do you understand that? You see, you need to have one thing clear, clearly defined in your mind. You are either part of the problem or you are contributing to the solution. For me, it depends on where anybody is standing. For me, Obasanjo has been more of a problem. Maybe arguable, who will say, well, he fought the Biafra war. But the reasons for which Biafra war was fought are still here with us. And you have had opportunities. You were GOC, you were the chief of staff, Supreme headquarters under Murtala. You succeeded Murtala as head of state. You were instrumental to installing Shagari as a president. If you remember the 12 to 3 argument, Obasanjo did it that way. Look, the presidency is going north. That could be patriotic, depending on who is the interpreter. Now, presidency went north. Awolowo went to court and very brilliant young lawyers then, and they argued. At the end of the day, 12 to 3 was approximated. It was approximated, and what did we have? A president, Sheikh Shagari. Now, I don't want to go into the argument, the polemics of why Awolowo had to abandon the independence of the Oduduwa Republic. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to do this. But he was made an offer he couldn't reject. An offer that he would become the vice chairman of the Supreme Military Council. And after Supreme Military Council, he was possibly going to succeed Kowa. It didn't happen. And Obasanjo saw to it. Make sure it didn't happen. The point I'm trying to make is that, look, they're coming to Buhari. Buhari will say, no, stay. Let's give it to him. The first time, he was not allowed to settle down. 2 years. He was put down. He was holding Juma prayer somewhere. And very young little of had to come and drag him away from there. One of them, Sambo Dasuki. I think he was a colonel then. Or a major, something like that.
Was a colonel.
He went where his sole head of his own commander-in-chief was having a prayer. And arrested him. From there, that was the end of Buhari's
that's why he never forgave him.
That's why he never forgave him. And that is why I can't see if I were Buhari, I would do the same. Yes, but I need to really restore, that distorted part of my life. That because the whole process messed up the military system in Nigeria. And now they say that coup is a military coup. You can truncate an ongoing government, and nobody will hold you responsible.
But Buhari did the same.
I know. He did the same.
No,
And
he was not. He was calling.
it doesn't matter. He inherited it. If it doesn't matter.
Why did he?
If he did not. No, he was not in Nigeria. He was in Pakistan.
That's what I'm saying.
No, listen.
No,
You remain there.
Buhari wasn't just.
Buhari was not
He
in
was
Jos.
in Jos.
Let's not
That
go.
Shagari coup, he was in Jos.
I don't want
Just
to
go
go.
and
I don't want to go into an argument.
No, just go ahead and make it.
We'll confirm and get back to you on it.
Please.
I don't give up on an
I
issue.
know.
On an issue, I'm sure of.
No,
I will return to you on
Please,
this. And if I'm able to confirm your position, I'll give it to you.
yes, please.
Intellectual community
No, that's
confirms
what we are.
that on me that I'll give it to you when I know you have a better
But he
idea.
was in Jos.
See, the point I'm making is that Buhari now has the opportunity.
But hold on, when you go into military, you sign to die for the nation. Correct? Suddenly, your colleagues have done something wrong. And suddenly you become afraid to die. And you join them in that illegality and you want to come and prove
That's
it.
why I said that it's wrong.
Whether it's in Pakistan or it's in Abuja, it's irrelevant. It's immaterial.
They convinced him that this is what
Then he's an
He
idiot.
accepted
Then
it
he's
now.
an idiot.
He accepted it. He accepted
He has no reason to be
Yeah,
president.
that he was right.
Having been part of it.
You understand that?
Whether by mission
Now,
or mission.
Nigerians, you see, you don't blame, Shagari is not actively mixing Shagari and Buhari. You see, Buhari, this is a second missionary journey, don't worry. For those who believe it,
Doing what?
second missionary journey. See, I want to complete this fact. You see, see, the point I'm making is this. Let's face it. See,
Okay.
let me explain what I mean. I have nothing personal with Buhari. He's a likable person, if you understand what I'm saying? But I don't agree with him one bit on any of his policies. They are all wrong. Wrong-headed policies meant to accentuate non-inclusivity. Do you understand that? And we need to, he has to understand that what has bred insecurity in Nigeria is non-inclusivity. Do you know that economic growth is possible without development? You can be growing without developing. Once you are running non-inclusive policies, the rich will become richer and the poor will remain poorer. I can prove it. More than 90% of Buhari's policies are non-inclusive policies. They have actually perpetuated poverty in Nigeria. They have worsened. Remember I told you that, yes, I agree that things were bad when Buhari came, but he made them worse.
Anything he touched,
Buhari is a perfect definition. No, listen. No, forget about that. He recruited them. He recruited them. Listen, Buhari is a perfect definition of a toxic leader. You know who is a toxic leader? A toxic leader is the leader that leaves a place worse than he made it. You don't need to be educated to even understand it. That you inherited this joint, right?
And you ran it to a point that you use the center for your relation.
You got to the point that this place became worse.
Do you know when Buhari took over, suddenly, through his body language, everything started working. NEPA didn't take life.
Yes.
The finally started working. So why did that happen? Because he was an idiot. He could not continue.
The guy dealt with us. He dealt with Nigeria. So, in summary, all I'm trying to say is that Buhari has not been fair to himself. I'm not even talking about being fair to Nigeria. I'm talking about a man in the departure lounge.
You came in, you know you were sick. Up to 7 years later, he cannot be one sick hospital that can take care of
health is not on your side. Why don't you go to Daura itself and build a state-of-the-art hospital in front of your house?
You are the first person to say it.
No,
I don't care.
No.
If I'm sick, I'll go there. And then you should come and build it in my state now. He can come and build it in my state.
Have we taken over the hold on, listen, Adam. Hold on now. Have we taken over the real university that is building there? What Dr. Lomeko is saying? Let him build it. If it's functioning, let me tell you this. If Buhari turns Castina, if he turns Daura into okay, if he turns Daura into Dubai, if he turns Daura into Oman, where economy
We'll be going there now.
we'll be going there for holiday. Let him do it.
We don't have a cheaper for me to go there than go to
What are you
Dubai.
talking about? How many people? What is Abuja our house? How many houses do we have here? The houses we have here, is it? Can eh?
Are you saying there are no Igbos in Daura? No, are you saying there are no Igbos? Are you saying there are no Igbos in Daura?
There are Igbos in there.
Oh,
But those who
and they are not poor Igbos. They are Igbos that have property.
and there are Igbos that are recognized with the law.
What we are saying, location is indifferent. If you go to Ghana, the choicest area that you see the richest person, you can't even count 10 Ghanaians without having an Igbo man.
No, they are entrepreneurs.
Exactly. So that which means all they need is development. I invited Abu, your good friend. He came to I took Abu round. I said, this electricity pole you're seeing in my community, we bought it with our money. We put it. Am I agreeing with him? Let him go and make electrified down. Am I quarreling with him?
Let him develop his state. That's surprisingly.
Even in those days.
Kidnapping his own
That one is sabotaging.
village. He sabotaged himself. That's the point I'm making. He sabotaged
Yes, I
himself.
told him that why people are making this because it does not make any effort to stop it.
Exactly.
And that's why I said you failed. You understand? But going to
Can you tell me one single
velocity of velocity in Nigeria, there's no bomb. So you believe it. But you could have not sit like this.
Well, but hold on. But even then, that one don't really finish. Whether instead of the still of being bombed with that and nothing there, they don't make any. Why bomb? When they got their life and they draw the money. Exactly. Why would they bomb you? When they can just kidnap you and ask you to bring 10 million. And eventually, wait for 72 minutes.
Nobody needs to stop it.
They will take 10 here and manage it.
Nobody needs to stop it. They need to change strategy. When you carry
This one has been declared wanted.
where you
All the time public around what his friends, yeah?
But do you know that have you seen the area man? You have to go to the main road to tell you. But he just came in because he's an area man.
you abandon your
The person that I'm thinking about, they know your friends.
Why are we going to? Okay. If Atiku wants us to support him, he knows what.
So that I'm not know how that now. Don't worry.
If he doesn't do that, even if he becomes president, from May 29, 2023, we will continue to fight him. Because he will not drink water and keep cough.
We will not fight him now because after primaries, we win the election. I think it's 40 million because
Okay.
because I think
Remember, give him this thing.
Yes,
I'm the distributor now. Okay, before president, that's very well. Camera with the power.
You said he was asking me where I was. Syndicals down they asked him. Didn't you read 2023 P2P the strident, solid American? Didn't you read it? There is no argument. Because you know why I wrote that article? Where we were looking about America. I said, okay, let's leave Zodin and talk America. It's not America you want. And I said, okay, this is marriage. Bring your best. Let us lay them side by side and let Nigerians be the judge. He said, if I come, I should call you. But we say, why don't you allow these principles of education and zoning?
No, the issue is that the only challenge I have with people who are talking about zoning, who are talking about zoning, is that some people who are talking about zoning and still are expecting people who are equally interested in the position to bring up their ambitions and then one of them becomes a particular people.
You talk now. Thank you. This is the second time we are meeting.
Yes.
Where you down, Abuja?
Last time it was brief. You came late.
I was very late. Because I couldn't trace the place. And you remember it was raining.
And now you are.
It was raining. I was. Yeah?
Okay, I know.
Dr. Mefo?
Yeah.
Oh, something like there's a person I have not been able to ask because a couple of times I've tried to
Let me make water. Thank you, my brother. Also shoot from the hip. No, the cowboy shooting from the hip like this. Oh, man,
Njenje media.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very much.
And then the media.
I can announce some of them. I'm not at light. I have possibly I go for the everyone I talk with the on the board. And that's me. And I talk with them.
So, yeah.
If we're about what have a very quick design, you know, even good, I good agreement.
So everyone, thank you very much for joining us. That's the end of the Hangout.